welcome to Information Please, your Peoria Public Library on the air, bringing you information about your library and your community. And this evening, my guest is Nena Burbank, who's one of our great children's librarians, and she's going to tell us about all the latest and greatest in children's literature. Hi, Nena.
Hi.
Going to sneeze.
Oh, no. Bless
Sorry.
you. Well, anyway, I brought quite a few. I'm telling you, like every single time, I always have trouble picking the good ones because there's so many good ones.
Well, we're so lucky that there's such great children's literature out there because reading is the key to success in life. And although, everything's going electronic, you still got to recognize those letters and sound out those words. So getting children engaged in reading with these enchanting children's books that you bring us is so key for parents to get their kids ready for school and to keep them engaged in school. So we really appreciate the work you do for us digging up the absolute gems.
Yeah, I go through all of them and I go, oh, that's my favorite. No, that one's my favorite. No, that one's my favorite. So let's start off right away with something I wanted to bring up. One thing I've noticed is that we have been getting a huge amount of Spanish language books in.
Yes.
And I just wanted to point out to people, I brought a couple to show. One's called Only One You. It's a picture book, and it is in Spanish and English.
That's helpful.
Yeah, and then Letters from Heaven, which is for older children, probably, I'm going to think 2nd through 5th or something like that. And it's a flip book. One side is English, the other side is Spanish.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
well, we do have a tremendous increase in our Hispanic populations that are using our library. And
which I love.
Yes, that's wonderful because to get them acclimated to, language in their new country, and what better way to do it than this type of book.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. So I just wanted to point out that we've got them. Come and look. You're going to be surprised. It's just amazing how our collection is growing.
And also just to teach our English-speaking children to understand a little bit of Spanish early on.
Oh, yeah.
Important in our
global... If
global...
you're taking Spanish, come and try it.
Yeah.
We have really good collections at Maine, at Lincoln, and at North.
Right. And if you want to pick them up at Lakeview or McClure, you can just ask to have them delivered there.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Okay, so... let's start with the youngest kids.
Okay.
And we have some old favorites. Nancy Tafuri has been writing very simple preschool books for a very long time. And the latest one is called Daddy Hugs.
Aww.
And it goes through a lot of different animals and how all the different daddies hug their babies. It's very, very sweet. Her pictures are very delicate and very soft. And so it's really a nice book. Now, the other book up here, The Misadventures of Sweetie Pie, really got my attention, so I had to bring it in, too. This is a book by Chris Van Allsburg. He has won some awards, quite a few awards. Very good author. I just wanted to point out, this is about a hamster that gets taken from a pet store. I love this picture. I don't know if you can see that right here. He doesn't look happy about it.
No, not happy in the pet store.
No. So he gets taken by a little girl, and the misadventure, she has a dog that tries to, eat him.
Yeah.
So he gets passed from person to person to person to person until he winds up in a classroom. And then, they always take the classroom pet home. And somehow they lose him. And you think, oh no, what happened to Sweetie Pie? But no, it's got a good ending, a very good ending. So don't worry about Sweetie Pie. He lands in the catbird seat, so to speak. Okay, the next set I have, here I go again. There we go. Also some notes. Everyone realizes Angelina.
Oh, yeah. Angelina Ballerina. Everybody loves Angelina.
She's visiting a cousin in the big city. And they're going to do a talent show. And it's about believing in yourself, believing in what you can do. Because, she's in ballet. Her cousin likes tap. Why do you want to do ballet? She feels bad. So it's like a compromise. Like, can we do this? This is good, but this is good too, so we can do both. So it's kind of a really nice story about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Waiting is not easy. I love Elephant and Piggy. Elephant has to wait for a surprise that Piggy is going to give him. And he says, it's really, really hard to wait. It's really hard to wait, but when he gets to the surprise, it's well worth it. So, and then Ling and Ting are two little twins, and they're just fun and silly, and it's a nice, easy reader for kids that has a lot of character and a lot of amusement in it. So keep them reading. That's the key for easy readers.
Yeah. Keep them going. Don't make it fascinating enough that they want to overcome the challenge of learning to read.
Right. So waiting is not easy, and Ling and Ting are really good for that. Let's see what I have. Oh, these are some nice ones. Noodle Magic is again about trying something new, believing in yourself that you can do it. It's about a little girl and her grandfather. Grandfather makes noodle magic, so he makes all these wonderful curlicues and things. And she thinks it's amazing. And one day he says, "Now it's your turn." And she's like, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it." But he says, "Yes, you can." So she just tries, and he helps her, and she does it, and she makes amazing things too.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. Tip Top Cat is about getting your confidence back after something bad has happened. Tip Top Cat is a cat that lives up on the tall building, and he's one day chasing a bird, and he falls off the roof.
Oh dear.
He doesn't get hurt, but he does get scared. And so he doesn't feel confident, but one day he gets his confidence back, and it's a very sweet story. Coming Home, I love this story. It doesn't have hardly any words in it, but it's about a little boy
It's all
going...
pictures.
Mostly pictures. It's about a little boy going through the airport, and as he goes through, he's looking for someone. And as he goes through, you see soldiers coming back from their overseas duties, meeting with their families, and he's like making comments about it and went the way through. And he goes, "Where is, where is?" And he finally sees her, and it's his mother coming back.
Ah, okay.
So it's a very sweet story about our troops overseas and their families.
Yeah,
that
very,
left behind.
very meaningful for children who do often have their parents gone for an extended period, and
Right.
be a nice story to read to either kids in that situation or children who know someone else who is, so they can understand.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Let's move on to some older kid ones.
Okay.
And I do have some returning favorites, shall we say.
All right.
Geronimo Stilton does it again.
Ah.
The Super Chef Contest. So all you Geronimo Stilton fans, here it is.
Okay. And there's Geronimo Stilton. He has a whole series, because
Yes.
I've missed that one.
Oh yeah, it's big.
Who is Geronimo Stilton?
He is a mouse.
A mouse. Okay.
Yes. So he and he gets in a lot of adventures and misadventures, and yeah.
Okay.
It's very nice. The next one I talk about is one of my very favorites.
Okay.
Bo at Iditarod Creek is a sequel to Bo at Ballard Creek.
All right.
And basically, and I think I said this before, basically it's like Little House on the Prairie updated and taken to Alaska.
All right.
It's set like in
Alaska wilderness.
Yeah, during kind of the after rush, the gold rush, and then they had people that just stayed.
Yeah.
And they still are trying to find the gold out of it, but it's become more of a big business industry thing.
Right.
So this is set in the late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
And Bo has, she's quite a character, but she is now...
Okay, so Bo's a little girl.
Bo is a little girl, and they, in the last book, adopted she and her two papas, she has two papas, adopted another little boy. And so they've moved on to this new camp, and their adventures there. And maybe adding another child at the end of this. So it's a very good read. Goes very fast, has a lot of detail about the life in the camps and how people deal with things. So it's really good.
Yeah, that's an era that people think they know about, but they don't really, or they think they know about, the gold rush in California, and they don't know so much about in Alaska.
Yeah.
And the whole issue of orphans. We just don't have that in today's society, where we have orphans and large amounts of children with no place to go, as we did back then. So that's an interesting thing for children to learn about too.
Right. And it was dangerous up in Alaska. So
Yes,
if there were children and they had parents, sometimes those parents...
Yeah, something happened to the parents, and there's so much illness as well. People died of illnesses, and here you are in Alaska in a mining camp. What do you do?
Right. So it's a very good look at that. Doreen Cronin, who did Click Clack Moo.
I remember Click Clack Moo.
Right. She started on chapter books. And this is an easy chapter book. It's the second in a series. It's called The Chicken Squad. And it's about 4 chickens who solve mysteries. But it is so funny. I read through some of it, and it's just hilarious. The kids are going to love it, and it's really easy to read. The chapters aren't that long, and it's just a really nice beginning chapter book.
Good.
Phineas L. McGuire, this is a series also. He's a scientist. He likes to do things in a scientific way. His mother assigns him cooking dinner every night.
Okay.
So, of course, he has to approach it as scientific experiments. So this is all the trouble he gets into in the food that he creates.
Yeah.
To kind of muddy the waters for him, he comes up with a really good brownie recipe, but a bully at school really likes the brownies, so he has to keep supplying brownies to the bully. So,
well, and we've talked about, so many of these books are part of a series, and we've talked before, but we should talk again about why series are important to kids. Why is it that children enjoy books that are in a series so much?
Yeah, it's like it's familiar. They like the characters. They want to come back to them. You know, you've had that feeling too, where you get done with a book, you go, "Oh, I wish it would have gone on more." Yeah. The kids really like that. I know this person. I know what they're doing. I know how they are. I really like them. I want to continue reading about them.
Yeah, so familiarity and be able to pick that up, and it makes it easier for the kids. And as adults, we like TV series. We like books that are in a series. So it's the same thing, but it's a great way to get that reluctant reader. You can find a series they like and have them anticipate the next one. Yeah. But then, of course, the other thing we should point out is our Reader's Advisory Service that, you know, you've read the whole series and you've got a kid that doesn't want to read anything else. Our staff can help you find the book that's similar. It won't be the same character, but it'll be similar.
If you go to our website, there is a place, I'm not quite sure where exactly, but you can put in your name, your email address, and say what you want. And they will
under
start
Contact Us, you can find that.
Right, and they will, there's 2 ladies there in my department that will start putting books together for you.
Yeah, start searching them out. Right.
Finding good stuff for you. So yeah, we got some stuff here we can help you with.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Patterson is at it again. James Patterson. He's got into kid books and he just can't stop.
I've read several of his kids' books. I mean, the teen ones, and they are great.
This is for younger kids. This is more elementary, and this is called House of Robots. And it's about a boy who lives in a house where everything is robots. Robots do this, robots do that, and so about his experiences with all the robots. Delivery of Doom. Dan Yaccarino has written a lot of kids' books. This is about, when they say delivery, they're talking delivery. It's delivery of pizza in outer space.
Okay.
And this boy has a delivery pod. He has a couple of friends, a giant talking garlic, and a talking pizza oven. And he goes out into space and makes deliveries around. It's about his adventures, and there's somebody after something that his secret ingredient called the golden anchovy, and somebody's trying to steal it. So we have that kind of villainy in there. Save the golden, anchovy.
Save the golden anchovy.
On a serious side, we have The Red Pencil, which is an amazing book. It's written all in poems.
Oh, all right.
But is about a young girl in the Sudan and her life, and then you get about a year of her life as it is and how she wants to go to school and she wants to be educated, but her family is against it and all this kind of stuff. And then we have this horrific tragedy that happens when some terrorists come into their village and kill, like, all the men, the animals. They escape and go to a refugee camp.
What's going on in the news right now.
And how she's in this refugee camp and she's just very, very devastated, and how someone comes and gives her something special, just a small thing, a red pencil. And it made her feel so special, and it made her feel like she could get the education that she wanted, and how she works toward that.
Yeah, and an important book to help children understand what's going on in the world right now, and also how those small acts of kindness can change everything for someone.
Yeah, it's just an amazing book. Half a World Away, also a serious book about a young boy who was adopted from a Slavic country, brought to America when he was 4. And how he has had many, many problems. He hasn't been able to connect with his adoptive parents. He's 12. And how they go to adopt another child, and it's through that adoption that he connects with another child that they wind up not adopting that one right away, but how he connects and he realizes that he can connect, he can be emotionally involved with someone else. So it's really about him coming back alive after the devastation of his mother giving him away and all the different things that happen.
So another one that deals with what goes on in other parts of the world. I think it's important to give our children a world view and not live in our isolated little.
And it's a safe way to do it.
Yeah, it's a safe way to do
Yeah.
it, and they learn some reading skills while they're learning something important.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. Okay, all three of these have a central theme.
Okay.
It's all about finding your place.
Okay.
The Beyond the Laughing Skies is about a young, this is an odd concept, but it's about a young baby found in a broken egg. And he has a beak, and he has to deal with the fact that he's been adopted by like people that don't have beaks. And he goes to school, and he has a lot of trouble with people making fun of him and trying to find his way and who is he really, and trying to find his place. And he finally does, and he is basically a bird boy. So
A bird boy. Kind of the ugly duckling in a new way.
Absolutely Truly is about Truly Lovejoy. I love that name. And moving to a new place, she's not used to being in a small town, and so is kind of trying to find her way there, but also solving a mystery at the same time. So that kind of brings her together with other kids who are helping her solve the mystery. So she finds it. The Perfect Place is about a girl whose father is always disappearing, and her mother goes to find the father, leaves her with an aunt, and they don't know the aunt, and the aunt's very strange to them. And so kind of getting used to that, getting used to the idea that, she doesn't have her parents, and where do we really want to be? Do we want to be with them? Do we want to be with the aunt? Kind of thing. Where's my place? So all of them have that central theme of where do I belong?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of kids are going through that. Who am I? Where do I go?
Where do I belong? Particularly when people move, things change in your life. So that's can shake up your foundation.
So these are good books, to kind of deal with that. There was so much good nonfiction. I had to bring some.
Oh yeah.
I have 3 simple biographies, but also very strong. Malala and Iqbal is a double book, and Malala is the little girl that was shot by the Taliban.
Okay.
And this is her story simplified for younger kids.
Okay.
And Iqbal is the little boy in India who was killed trying to, get all the kids to know about you aren't a servant, you aren't a slave, in the rug industry. And it just tells a little bit about them. It doesn't go graphic, just the facts about what happened and what they were trying to do.
What happened to them and what they were trying to do. So more about world circumstances and what's in the news right now. And I think sometimes we don't think about children's books talking about current events and current issues, but they do.
Oh yeah, they're very good. It's very done well. The other 2 are biographies. One is about Carl Sagan, Star Stuff.
Ah, okay.
How did Carl Sagan become Carl Sagan?
Yes.
So it's very nice.
We'd all like to know that.
Yeah, he went through his whole life, how he got interested in it. Just very, very nice book put together. Little Melba and her big trombone. I had to bring this because she, I wasn't familiar with her, but she was a pretty well-known trombonist, and I just wanted to show you. When she was little, she was so small that she couldn't reach, and so she came up with this kind of sway back stance that she had to do to
be
actually
able to play.
And she did it so long that in her later years in her career, there it is. That was her kind of her signature playing style.
Standing way back like that. Okay.
So, and it's a very nice introduction to not only the first woman to be noticed for her trombone playing, but the first African American woman.
Ah, okay.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Good with Black History Month coming up.
2 others that I wanted to bring. Well, let's do all of them. Candy Bomber. After World War II.
I love this story.
Yeah.
I don't know the book, but I know the story.
Yeah, after World War II, there was a lot of suffering with the children in Berlin because, hunger, not enough food, that kind of thing. And probably one of the things that they noticed that the kids didn't have was candy. So a pilot said, what can I do, what can I do? And he decided to do bombing with chocolate. So he would send down packets of chocolate on little parachutes, like little hankies, down into Berlin for the kids to have chocolate and candy and something special to make them feel special.
Yeah.
And so he did that for quite a while, and it got around, and his commander didn't know about it, and he thought he was going to be in trouble, but the commander said, I wish you would have told me. I would have helped. So it was a big deal and amazing story.
Yeah. How fun for the kids to be able to read about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a very good slice of what happened way back in
Yeah.
your great-grandparents' day.
Yeah, yeah.
Frozen in Time, I brought it because it's so odd that I had to bring it. It's the, it's the story of Charles Birdseye.
Oh.
I never would have thought that
They
would
were
be
the children's book about...
Oh, yeah, about Charles Birdseye. It tells about how he discovered about being frozen. His food was called frosted food. It wasn't frozen, it was frosted food.
Frosted food.
And his invention, like, totally changed the way we preserve food. And before that, it was like you couldn't really preserve it.
No, you had to salt it or can it or dry it.
So he really revolutionized how we eat food.
Neat.
So that was kind of cool. 13 Art Movement that kids should know is an amazing book.
Okay.
Now, I've read a lot of art books because art's my minor.
Yeah.
But this one is wonderful. This one goes through each art movement. It's got a timeline for when it happened. It's got sidelights about different facts, and it also has some things that you can try.
Okay, and what age is this for?
This is probably about 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, maybe even up to 7th or 8th.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very nice book. I am so impressed with this book.
Okay.
However, I did bring this book for the boys.
All right.
Neighborhood Sharks, all the gore you all wanted, right? Though it kind of made me disturbed.
Nice.
But look at this. The boys are going to eat this up.
Oh, yeah.
Grabbing the sea, the seal in the middle of the ocean.
That one was gory, but some of those other pictures you were flipping by are really pretty.
Yeah, they have, I mean, it's done really in a lot of good taste. I mean, even though, and it shows different little diagrams of the teeth and how they are and everything. It's a wonderful book. Tells all about everything you want to know about sharks.
So that's also nonfiction and for that, about that middle school age.
Oh, yeah. Although I think younger kids can enjoy it, too.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that want the gore.
Yeah. If they like sharks, they'll like it. Yeah. And I've known a lot of kids who like the sharks, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now flipping through and up a level,
Uh-huh.
we're going to go into some young adult stuff.
Okay.
All right, these are all series that are either ending or beginning.
Okay.
I think this is the one.
And there's many adults that read YA books, too.
Oh, wait, looks like hang on a minute.
You skip one.
Maybe. Oops, here we go. Nope, we're missing a slide. Oh, well, that's all right. I'll talk about the other ones here.
Okay.
There is the Shatter Me series, and the last one's coming out, Ignite Me. Also, the last book in the Krisha trilogy,
Okay.
which is kind of like a fantasy with a Russian-like culture. It's been optioned for a movie.
Is that a sci-fi or?
Yeah, these are I think all but one are sci-fis. Ruin and Rising is the last one in the Grisha series, and it looks like it's going movie, just like the Hunger Games. So,
Okay.
Isla and the Happily Ever After is in the last book in the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy, obviously not science fiction.
Yeah.
Teen romance and angst and against the backdrop of New York City, Paris, and Barcelona.
Oh boy.
So
big
we're
cities.
globetrotting.
Yes, big cities.
Romance in the big cities. A new series that's starting, a new trilogy, is called 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. It's about a girl whose parents are scientists, and they invent something called the Firebird, which is a dimension hopper.
Oh, all right.
So you can go into multiple dimensions. But her father's killed, and his assistant escapes, and they believe that the assistant is the killer.
Ah.
She doesn't want him to get away with it, so she gets away to start hopping the dimensions also, trying to catch this man. But then she realizes as she goes in and out of these different dimensions that he may not be the killer.
Ah, okay.
And things are getting really, I'm sure, as the trilogy heats
progresses,
up. Yeah,
you'll find out more about what's happened.
Yeah, so it's a nice new one. Going on to this, No Place to Fall and Diamond Boy, Gloria O'Brien's History of the Future, and Anatomy of a Misfit are all about people trying to find their way
Okay.
in different circumstances. Gloria O'Brien's History of the Future is a sci-fi,
Okay.
but it's about a girl who realizes that she can see people's futures.
Oh, all right.
And what she sees is horrible because it looks like everything's been taken over by a tyrant, women's rights disappear, young girls are taken into camps or disappear.
That sounds a little bit like what's going on the other side of the world right now.
Right. So it's kind of like, and she will do anything to see if she can change that future. So
Okay.
we've got a lot of No Place to Fall. It's about a good girl who has to make some life-changing decisions. Diamond Boy is set in Africa at a diamond mine.
All right.
About a young man who his parents go to get, a fortune.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Yeah. Is this blood diamonds then, or just diamonds?
Just as
Does it
diamond,
have to
just
do with
regular
conflict diamonds? It's
just, but they do get
diamonds,
invaded
greed
by.
and-
It's during President Robert Mugabe's brutal regime.
okay.
So we've got some kind of base here for what's going on. Anatomy of a Misfit. A young girl who is popular must choose between keeping that social status or following her heart.
Ah, all right.
So we
always,
got some-
always a
And
good.
it's a teen thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
The other one, the very last one I have, Poisoned Apples.
Oh,
It's
this looks good.
Yeah, it's an intriguing thing. It's a poetry book based on fairy tales.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's social messages about how girls are taught to think about themselves, how they're taught to think about their bodies, their friends, how they're taught as consumers, as objects, as competitors, and it's all in poetry form, and it's all based on fairy tales.
Oh, nice.
Sounds
Okay.
very intriguing. I have
Well,
not looked at this book, but
yeah, well, with the fairy tales give that familiarity that kids like, and so we'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
So, well, Nina, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us, and I'd probably be run on these books now, but that's okay.
hope so.
Check them out and
Oh, yeah.
get a hold of them while they're new. There's so many things going on at the library in the months coming up. You can find it all on our calendar at www.peoriapubliclibrary.org. Download our newsletters or come in and pick up a paper one. We'll see you next week on Information Please.